Your body knows how to be healthy. I'm your host, Martha Blessing, and this is the Place to Be Free podcast, a show that is passionately devoted to illuminating the potential within you to transform your health and life. We're shaking up and breaking up old paradigms so you can free up your mind and body, elevate your consciousness, and create profound well-being and a ridiculously happy and healthy life. On this show, we defy the norms and embrace a journey toward profound well-being and creating true freedom. We challenge patriarchal medicine, question fear-based culture, and dive deep into topics like quantum healing, energy medicine, mental science, consciousness, and universal spiritual laws. Whether you're here for solo explorations or the insightful interviews with individuals who've conquered fear and disease and broken through limitations, you're in for a transformative experience. If you're seeking empowerment, if you're ready for a life-changing shift, you're in the right place. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Martha Blessing. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm talking today about something that I see very frequently, and I want to encourage you to not do, and that is falling into the trap of New Age healing. I know this is going to rub a lot of people possibly the wrong way. I'm okay with that because each and every day, my truth is to help people heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And when I see and experience the things that are getting in the way of that I know are truth getting in the way of that, and some of you may say, well, that's your truth, Martha. It is my truth. But I've been doing this work long enough to know what works and what doesn't. So when I see things that are being taught, things that I hear that people say to me, I want to call it out. I want to say that's bullshit. And if you follow that, that's okay. That's the level that you are at. I have no judgment on it. Understand that. I have no judgment on it. It's only that it will not get you where it is that you want to go. And that's why I call BS on it. So what am I talking about when I say New Age healing? Well, I had a call recently. I do consultations with prospective clients who are going to work with me. And she was asking me, she was interviewing me about my level of work, about my level of healing that I do. And I'm very clear up front. Yes, my healing works and it's very effective. But I don't work in the way that a lot of other quote healers work, in that I'm not removing anything. I'm aligning you to the truth of your body's already healthy and whole. So I'm working from the place where you're already healed, and in that place actually. So she wanted to know, what dimension am I working in? And what frequency am I at? What vibration am I at? And you know what? Yes, those words are valid. Right? They are valid, but they're also not. When you understand the true nature of the universal laws, and so she was basically had done some training with another practitioner, and my beliefs are that it's all good. If you've listened to the podcast, or you've listened to me, or you've been on my email list, you know that I've talked many times about the 4 levels of consciousness and healing. And most people don't start out at level 1 and jump to level 4. And so what I'm doing in my work is I'm taking people from level 2, level 3 to level 4. And if they've been at level 2 or level 3 for a while, there's a reason. We can only hear and see and feel the receiving and the energy when we are willing to let go at those lower levels into something that is a higher truth, into a different consciousness, right? It's a different awareness. The mind thinks differently. And in that process, what we're doing is we're peeling back this veil this mist of illusion and lies that illness is this tangible 3D disease. In spirit, in God, source, there is no illness. In the universe, in the quantum field, there is no illness. Now, yes, because of people like Joe Dispenza and some other science-y type folks, some people need the science, right? They need to prove it. Quite honestly, I used to chew and I used to feel and believe like, oh, I'm so weird and out there that I had to have some kind of validation to be able to explain it to other people. I don't need to explain it anymore. I do explain it for those that want to hear the hook, so to speak, and go, oh, wait a minute. She's thinking in a different way. She's looking at this in a different perspective, and something about it will click for you. And you'll know it as truth. Like when you know the truth in your body when you hear it. Your soul knows the truth. So anyway, this gal was telling me and asking me all these questions. And, she told me about this practitioner that she had worked with. Did I know this person? I'd never heard of him. And, I did look him up. And I'm not saying that what he's doing is wrong. It's not wrong. For someone who might have been sick and going only to that Western medical model of medicine and like saying, oh, I'm stuck in this Western sick care system and it doesn't work for me and it doesn't resonate with me. And I know there's something else, but I don't know what it is. That's probably where she went to in that next step. Right? She probably learned a little, found some people, did a search, and she found this gentleman and started working with her. And it supported her to the level that she's gotten to right now, which might be somewhere between 2 and 3, right? If she was at level 3, she probably wouldn't have necessarily questioned me. I'm okay with the questions, don't get me wrong. I love questions. I love for people to challenge me because that gives me an opportunity to say something to them or tell them something. That's why I do the podcast, that they can hear, that will click, that will take them to the next level, that will take them to a new awareness and get them thinking about and asking a different question that leads to an expansion, right? It leads to an expansion instead of focusing on what's wrong. A lot of people are, in their questions, they're focusing on what's wrong. So with this new agey kind of stuff, the reason why I'm calling it new age is because he was very, energy is not new age. Everything is energy, like God's source spirit. It just is energy and consciousness. That's all it is. And there is no material, there is no matter in the spiritual, there's only spiritual. The material happens in our perception, in our 3D, in our physicality. So she needed to have some sort of reference point. And this gentleman just happened to have packaged really well. He named his healing method, something coherence. It was something about coherence. And so she's locked into that, right? Again, I'm not having a judgment on that. What I'm saying is she got locked into that. That's the only point of reference that she had. And so if I'm telling her, I said, my frequency is just pure love. My frequency is God, is spirit. In my work and in my healing, my frequency is you're not sick. My frequency is you're pure light and pure love, and you don't exist in the realm of shame, guilt, disease, symptoms. That's what the truth is. That is a frequency that is honestly beyond what we can even fathom. Quite honestly, most people cannot fathom that this is truth, or that we're living as that, and that we can live as that. So it's getting packaged into, there's another gal, I'm not going to name names, but there's another gal who Several of my clients have worked with her in the past, and then they've come to me, and they were doing, I think she's more focused on actually training people to be energy healers. And in that process, they're also working on themselves, which there's nothing wrong with that, again. But it does have its limitations if you're staying in this idea and focus that you are using a specific megahertz and frequency. And like, her mind was very focused on what's your frequency, what dimension, what megahertz. Well, the dimension of God is all encompassing. The dimension of source and spirit. You know, if you have trouble with the word God, I don't. So if that bothers you, interchange another word. But what I'm saying is it's law. It's a universal law. It is spiritual law. The highest frequency is you are just being love. You are just being love. There's nothing else when you are in that place. And so you don't have to question, oh, well, what megahertz are you at? Right? And I know Joe Dispenza does a lot on the science and the megahertz, and that's great. I think that's important for people who need that, and for maybe countering some of what's out in the Western medicine and the sick care system to say, oh, this proves this. But when I say New Age, what I'm saying is God was here all along. Source was here all along. God is good. That loving energy, law, and spirit, that's been here forever. We didn't have to know how to measure it. We didn't have to put it into science. Like, it is science. It's divine scientific thinking. If anything, it's science of mind, right? Thomas Troward, some of these early, really what I would say the OG, right? The original gangsters of quantum healing, they were back in the 1900s. This stuff is not new age. The angels, the tarot cards, the crystals, all, great. I personally feel that those are a hindrance, quite honestly, because they're keeping you separate from the truth. They're keeping you relying on something outside yourself. And you were born, you were created, you were incarnated into this physical body, the material, but you are nothing but pure spirit. You are the one mind, period. God is thinking substance. And he's not negative thinking substance. So the idea of, oh, I need to do tarot, I need to do cards, or I need to do crystals, or I need to do, all of these other things. If you like them, fine. I know some people, there are crystals that resonate, but the truth is, are you being the frequency of your true self, of your God self? Are you allowing that to come through? Forget about all these other trappings. That is your mind. That is your conscious mind. In a lot of cases, trying to keep you stuck where you are. It is trying to help you believe in the illusion of control. So when this gal was questioning me, what she really was doing was she was in fear. Again, I don't have a problem with the questions, but I'm saying, what is the truth about this? And what the truth is that she was at the place where she was right then and there in space and time, in her development and her growth. And it was a place of fear to go to the next level. In other words, she wasn't quite sure that this all was real and true. And so she needed to filter it through her current perception. Let me say that again. She needed to filter it through her current perception. Nothing is good or bad. Nothing in the universe has any meaning except the meaning that we give it until we give it meaning, right? It's neutral. If she could have gone into acceptance, and so for whatever reason, she will stay at that level where she is until maybe I planted a seed. Maybe I planted a seed and I said to her, doesn't matter what dimension I'm working in. It doesn't matter. And quite honestly, what I've seen and heard a lot of times is people are so, a lot of the wiki woo and the spiritual nonsense is what I'll call it, about the darkness and the fear. Yeah, I guess there is darkness if you want to believe that there's darkness. If you have that truth and that reality as part of your belief system, that spirits are coming after you. I've never had that. I've never ever had that. I guess that I am blessed, but I don't know which happened first. I never had that belief, and so I never encountered it. I mean, I've seen dark stuff, don't get me wrong. It's never come into my work. It's never come into my healings. I've experienced and felt things. I've experienced and felt when other people would, it can be as simple as someone not liking you and being in conflict with you because, like, I could be triggering them, right? I could be hitting a trigger. I could be reflecting a trigger to them. And so they might get pissed off and they might get angry and they might get fearful. They might get narcissistic or holier than thou or whatever, right? And so they'll send me negative energy. Like, I understand that. And I've seen it and I've witnessed it. Like, I know what that experience is like. But in the world of, like, you can't have God and love and then have the fear and doubt at the same place in the same time. They do exist in the same place in the same time. That's the law of polarity. But you can't, you're either being one or being the other. So if you're being love, you cannot be the lower frequency, right? So her concern, in some regards, I guess, was valid. She wasn't internally strong enough yet to hold that truth for herself. And somewhere along the line, she either through working with this gentleman or maybe her background, her life, I don't know. You know, in some cultures, I was talking with a gentleman the other day, and he wears the evil eye. And he said it's very big in their culture in Turkey, right? And there are a lot of cultures that feel there are dark spirits and that you have to remove and guard yourself from the dark spirits. However, I don't have that truth and reality. My truth and reality is when I am being the highest frequency and I'm being love, love trumps everything. The frequency of the spiritual, of God, of truth, of our divinity trumps everything. And when you remove the humanness and the material and you are just focused on heaven and that truth in your body and your being and in the world, then you will become that frequency. We don't need to measure it. You'll feel it in your body. Your body will be that frequency. No illness can live in that. That's consciousness, right? That is consciousness. That is what we're talking about here, is raising the expansion and the awareness and the level where you're asking different questions and being. So at that level, she was in fear. She was in doubt and wondering, oh, am I a high enough level to facilitate healing? Am I a high enough level to facilitate healing? Well, yes, I am. I've done it for myself. I've done it for others. But she had to put it through her filter. She had to put it through her filter. So don't get caught up if you're someone who is new to this or you've been at one point, maybe level 2, level 3 for a while, and now you're trying to really grow and expand. You control the energy. You are an energetic being. And check in when you're wondering or worrying about something. Ask a different question. Instead of asking, what frequency is this person operating at? Ask yourself, what frequency do I need right now? What frequency do I need right now? Ask your subconscious to bring you to and show you to the person that is going to help you with the frequency that you need right now. It's possible this gal wasn't ready for it yet, and that's okay. It can change in an instant. That frequency and alignment can change in an instant. But ask yourself, what frequency do I need? And how do I align with that? It's never going to be outside yourself. The answer is my work is guiding you inward. My work is guiding you to the truth. My work is guiding you to the frequency that you already are. What do you need to allow that truth to permeate through the cells of your body and your being? Cards aren't going to do it. Crystals aren't going to do it. There's something in the subconscious that is unlike love that's getting in the way. And it's not new age wiki-woo stuff that gets you into alignment. I know that ruffles a lot of feathers. It's not even a shaman, quite honestly. I used to get a lot of people in the beginning that wanted me to retrieve their soul. Your soul didn't go anywhere. Your soul doesn't need to be retrieved. It's all in there, right now, right here. If your soul had left your body, you'd be on the other side. Your soul didn't go anywhere. You may have cut yourself off from it, but it did not go anywhere. I know this will probably ruffle a lot of feathers. I'm okay with that. I want to ruffle the feathers. I want to get you thinking and asking the questions that are going to lead you back to yourself and back to the truth and your divinity. To your divinity. I'm going to share with you in closing this episode of the podcast a quote that my mentor taught me. And I've used it and read it and looked at it every single day for years. The truth about you is so lofty that nothing unworthy of God is worthy of you. Choose then what you want in those terms and accept nothing that you would not offer God as holy and fitting to Him. Think about that. The truth about you is so lofty. That is the truth. That is the truth. You are lofty. Nothing unworthy of source, of God, of love, a divine intelligence is worthy of you. You are worthy. All of the New Age treatments have nothing to do with connecting you to the truth of your worthiness. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. Tarot cards aren't going to connect you to your worthiness. That's giving your power away. Telling yourself that you don't have the answers inside yourself. The answers are there. You came in with everything you need. The crystals are not going to help you find your worthiness and your love. They're just not. God is. Truth is. Love is. Choose then what you want in those terms. In the terms of, it's already here, you're worthy, you are love. The only way to not experience that is to cut yourself off from it. Offer nothing that you would not offer to God, to Source, to your Creator, that was not holy and fitting. Offer it to yourself, offer it to Source, offer it to heaven. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Place to Be Free podcast. If you found inspiration in our discussions on empowered living, mindset, and spiritual laws and healing, Don't forget to subscribe and share the wisdom with your community. Connect with me on social media, and for exclusive content, free resources, and to stay updated on upcoming episodes, visit the website at marthablessing.com/free stuff. Until next time, remember, you're the author of your story. Keep breaking through barriers, defy old worn-out beliefs and patterns, and create a life without limitation. I'll see you in the next episode.